Well, guys, I am truly sorry. I have no idea what is going on. I'm going to have my technical husband come out and figure out what is going on with this internet. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to finish these cards so you guys can see these cards because they are truly gorgeous. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, it has been extremely windy. I don't know if it moved something up there, but we just got done in part 2 of this video, which is on the YouTube, and it will say part 2 on it. I went ahead and did card number 1, and this is the inside. I stamped using the crumb cake. I stamped that same image that we did on here in full strength. And then I just adhered a 1/4 inch strip using this same paper here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish these because I don't know what's going on with the internet. It's just not my night, apparently. Okay, so that's going to go inside of there. And there is card number 1 completed. Very, very pretty. Okay, so let's do card number 2. I'm going to say card number 2 is my favorite just because I love the colors of this. Let's go ahead and grab what we need for card number 2. So this reminds me of almost like a wedding themed card. So for this one, I'm going to place both of the pieces that I need for the inside of my card to the side. I am using a base that is 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score this at 4 1/4. Like so. I'm going to go ahead and give that a good crease on there. There's my base. I'm going to take this piece here, which is the same basic gray, if I didn't say that earlier. This is basic gray. I am going to run this through that mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. This is 4 1/4 by 5.5, so it is the same size as my base layer, front layer. We're going to run that through. Then we are going to use a scrap piece of white, and we have a piece here that is 3 by 3 piece of designer series paper. Now, I told you I would show you guys this amazing black and white paper. This is the second paper that comes in the suite collection for this. So we've got, let me move that. I'll show you that when we get to that piece. We've got this beautiful paper here with a really neat watercolor splashing that goes right along with these leaves. The next one is darker with this really neat black and white stripe. The next one is this. You've got a dark back with these really neat. Now this is the one that I'm going to be using. That's why this piece has been cut, as you can see here. This one, so you're going to get 12 sheets with this one, 2 each. That again, really neat. I love these. You can come in here with your Stampin' Blends and you can color these. You can use your Stampin' Write pens and color in these. It'd be fantastic for doing that. You could use your blending brushes and blend some colors on that. You could do the same thing on the backs of any of these as well. Here's the back side of this piece. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Look how neat this is. This is the back side of this one. So gorgeous paper. This, I really can see so many colors going on in that you could color or do the blending. So there's that paper. Most of us are such a sucker for black and white paper. I know every time it comes out, it is truly one of those things that is such a hot item. So again, a 3x3 of that paper there. Then I have a strip of the black, which we're going to cut as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my die machine over so we can do the embossing folder and the other little die pieces that we need to cut. So I'm going to use this mini corrugated and that basic gray layer. Now I'm going to lay it in where the corrugation is going side to side down the long side of this. Oops, wrong one. I need my specialty plate. Oops. All I need is 1 and 3. Okay, there is that corrugated layer. Now I'm going to place this back on here along with my magic mat because we're going to do some die cutting. If I can find what I did with those little pieces that I need. Okay, so on this little 3x3 piece of designer series paper, I need to take the second little rectangle in these nesting ones. If I can get underneath that and get it out of there. And I'm going to cut this twice on this. So just like so for one. Take that one out of there. There's that. I'm going to do it for 2 on there like so. All right. Ooh, staticky. See, that's that wind that we've got going on. So there's 2, and then my white piece here, I am going to then grab the next largest one. So we just used the second one. I'm going to grab the third one, this one here, and I'm going to cut that on my white scrap. Like so, and then I'm going to move this. So what we're going to do now on this little black strip, before I cut that out, I'm going to grab my Versamark and this long little sentiment right here, which says, "You are seriously the best." But first, before I stamp on there, I want to grab my little Stampin' Buddy here, embossing buddy, and just put that off on there like so. Taking my Versamark, inking that up. I'm gonna stamp this in the middle here, like so. Okay, pull that off. going to grab my silver embossing powder. And I'm going to grab my spoon here. Like so. Tap the excess off of that. Then I'm going to grab my heat tool. I'm going to heat this up. You're going to watch that silver come alive here in just a few seconds as soon as that heat tool heats up. Like I said, it's kind of cold, so it's taken a few minutes for that to really melt that. Okay, that looks good. So now with that, I'm going to grab my die cutting machine again. And now I'm going to use this long little piece down here at the bottom. It's perfect for this sentiment. I'm going to place that over the sentiment so I make sure I get it straight, because if I try to stamp that straight, yeah, chances of that happening are slim to none, because it is such a narrow little die. Sometimes when you try to stamp inside of something like that, it doesn't quite work out that well. So it's better to stamp, do your embossing and everything first, and then go ahead and line that up on there and then cut it out. You can't always do that with some of the dies, but with this one, it works better to do it that way. Now, if you don't have embossing powder, you could also do this on black with white ink. You could do it that way. That would work. Okay, so then we've got this little piece right here that we're going to do some stamping on. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab my smoky slate. Even though our card base is basic gray, I just think the gray is too dark. So I'm going to use the smoky slate for this, and I'm going to use this larger image here. Get that inky, and I'm going to go this way with it, and then one more time, just a little bit over here, like so, just to put some of those that leaf pattern on there. Okay, now what I want to do is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to adhere it right to the center of this, and you can decide which way you like it better. Now, I will let you know this piece is going to go over the bottom portion of that, so you might want to lay it out and see how you like your leaf pattern best. Okay, I'm going to go with it this way, so I'm going to put this right in the center. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm going to grab this ribbon and go like so. We're going to cut that. and bring it down here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this around, grab some tape, and just regular Scotch tape will work. Tape that down. Tape that down. Okay, like that. You can kind of move this around to get it to the position that you want it in. I think I'm going to leave it like that for the moment, just right along the bottom there. Okay, then I need my two little pieces here, and what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to pop those up on dimensionals. I'm going to use my little mini dimensionals. And then again, kind of just looking and seeing which way you like your paper. I think I like it going this way. I'm going to place this, just a little bit of a gap in between there. I'm going to place that there. And the next one, is going to go down south. Okay. Perfect. Okay, this little one is going to go right across here, but I want to use many dimensionals. Go like that. I'm going to cut a piece of this ribbon off, put it through, and then tie it like so. Just a little bow on there. Okay, and then I'm going to move this down like that. It's just going to barely hang over the sides of that. So that is so pretty. Oh, I love that. I'm going to use my glue and adhere that to the front. Again, going kind of thick on the glue, so we really make sure that gets a good adhesion. And again, it's going to be the size of my card base. Now, I will let you know that when you run it through a folder like this, since it is rippled, it is going to shrink your paper down just a hair, because of the fact that it's kind of pulling it in when it's doing that ripple. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let's use, I think we're going to use the black ones. There we go. Oh, that is so beautiful. I'm in love. Okay, we're gonna grab a strip of that paper. Again, that is a half an inch. Now we can decide We want this going along the bottom like that. Or do we want it going down the side? Or maybe even the inside. That might be kind of neat to go down the inside. Let's do that. I haven't done an inside in quite a while. Okay, so I'm going to take this and go along the inside strip. Cut off the extra. All right, I'm going to use that stamp that we have here. Using Smoky Slate again, since that's what we used on the outside here. And I'm going to place that right like that, just right on the inside. Oh, that is so pretty. We have to have a pretty inside since our outside is gorgeous. All right, let's add that. And we do say, you are seriously the best. Now you could turn this into a thank you card, and we could use the sentiment that says thank you, a little note of appreciation. I'm not going to put anything inside of this because, again, I think this is a gorgeous wedding card. So I think it might just stay that way. And when I need to give it, I can then put the message on the inside. Okay, so that is card number 2. All right, let's get to card number 3. Make sure I got all my pieces out. Move all my card front pieces out, and then my little pieces that I need for the inside of my card, we're going to place over there. All my little dimensional backings. Let's do this opposite, since I've been putting the insides over there and the card fronts there. So we have a piece. This is Pecan Pie. This is 11 by 4 1/4. We are going to score this at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4, like so. So we have 4 1/2 or 4 1/4. Let me make sure I did 5 1/2. I mean, yep, 5 1/2. Scored at 5 1/2. Scored at 2 3/4. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold at that 5 1/2. Give it a good crease there, and then we're going to take this and fold it in to that center line again. Give it a good crease. Now, this is going to be a little easel card that stands up like so. Okay, so let's set that aside. We're going to get our pieces here. This is a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 piece. We're going to use the largest. The largest of our dies here from our textured notes dies. So it was the largest one right there. We're going to take this and we're going to die cut that like so. So let's bring this over and do that really quick. Okay, we're going to line that up on there like that. Let's give this a good run. Okay, so there's that piece there. Then what we're going to do is we are going to take it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 5th from the center one, we're going to take it and we're going to cut it out on a little scrap of our early espresso. Okay, there's that piece. Then using the second little piece, the little second one that we just used on card number 2, we're going to use that on our little inside piece here. Now, the reason why I'm grabbing this is because since we already are doing the die cutting here, I'm just gonna get her done. Let me make sure that's the right one. Yep, that's it. So you're gonna need a scrap of that piece for our inside, and all we're gonna do is die cut that using that second little inside die there. And that's gonna go for the inside of that card. I'm gonna put those away for the moment. We are gonna use those one more time, but we gotta do some stamping first. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this piece put on our early espresso. Now this early espresso piece is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. This is going to fit on here. So I'm going to adhere that down. Leaving the border. Okay, set that aside. I'm going to set this aside. We are going to focus on this piece here. Now, again, this is the one that I told you that stamping on is beautiful. So I'm going to grab, now I'm going to use this stamp right here, this little circle. Looks like the bottom of a woven basket. And let me grab another. Where is my other one? Well, I'm just going to take this off for the moment because I need that. Okay, I'm going to use Pecan Pie since that is the color of our base. I'm going to take some Pecan Pie and I'm going to stamp that just right over here, just on the edge. I'm going to take my early espresso. And this, oops, I did not clean that first. Did you guys see what I just did? I stuck that right in there. Okay, early espresso. And I am going to stamp that just right kind of in the center-ish of that. Okay. Then using my old olive, and that smaller leaf stamp, I'm going to stamp this right up here. Whoops. And again, right down here, just like that. Okay, this piece here is 2.5 by 3 7/8, and it fits right inside of our little frame here. Okay, like that. Then what we need to do is we are still going to do some stamping, but now we're going to take the inside of our card and do some of our stamping. So we already die cut our little scrap piece of this with that second of the smallest little pieces. We're going to use this, our inside piece, and then we're going to also stamp on our little scrap of white. So using this stamp again, I'm going to use my early espresso. Again, and I'm going to stamp this right up here. And then again, right up over here. Okay. Then we are going to take this and our pecan pie. And I'm going to stamp one of those there. And then another one right, let's go about right like so. Okay, and then we're going to need our old olive again. And that smaller leafed image. I'm going to do this right there. I'm going to do another one right down here. And then we're going to go one more time right over here. Just like that. Okay, grabbing that early espresso again and that long sentiment. I'm going to use this strip. Now, let me make sure that I have, because I know that die is somewhat long. Let me make sure that that's going to be long enough. Yep, it'll be fine. Okay. You are seriously the best. Going to stamp that right in the middle of that. Give that a couple of seconds to marinate in there. Okay, beautiful. Now with this die, we're going to do die cutting one more time. Just because I like shaking the heck out of you. Okay, I'm going to place that with that in the center, watching both ends. And then place that on there. And then we are going to cut that out. There's that piece. Let me put this back in here so I don't lose it. All right, so now what we need to do is we already got that adhered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ribbon here, cut myself a piece of that, take that towards. Now the reason why I'm kind of going a little bit lower on this is because only the bottom portion of this layer is going to get adhered to that. So I want to make sure that our recipient does not see that ribbon off the top. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. Let me flip this around and tape these down. Again, just regular Scotch tape, Dollar Tree Scotch tape works. Okay, there's that. So what I'm saying is we want to make sure that this ribbon stays below this fold part, because this is not going to get adhered. This is going to stay free from this back flap. You're going to only be adhering this bottom portion. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. Now, I will tell you that it is easy if you fold your card down and then place that on there. Kind of makes life a little bit easier, because then you can kind of see all your sides. And we know that our glue is not going to be on that point, because I made sure I only put glue only right above my ribbon, because I knew my ribbon was not past that point. Okay, so like so. Now we have our pretty little focal image that's going to go on the front of our card. We're going to bump this up, or pop this up with some dimensionals. Like that. Okay, and now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put this over towards the left-hand side here, watching my spacing upper and lower. Okay, then again, with a little piece of this ribbon, I'm going to just pull this in through here and create a little knot. And I want that close. Okay, like that. Now, if you wanted to, you could stamp your thank you or any kind of sentiment that you would like up in this top part of that. I didn't want any sentiment on the front. I'm leaving the front as is. And we're going to put our sentiment on the inside. Okay, so that is the front of my card. Now coming in to the inside of my card, we are going to adhere our pretty little stamped inside. Okay, like that. Now, we want to have a mechanism that is going to hold our card upright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put some dimensionals along the back of it. Like so, because we need to pop that up so this can get caught on this. Okay, I'm going to take that, and now holding this, we want it to be right like so. Okay, so now that card will stand up just like that. We are going to take our little sentiment and we're going to put right across that. So then they can see our pretty little stamping. Then it goes right along with our front image, and then our sentiment is there. So that's why I said you don't really need to have a sentiment on the front, because they're going to see when they stand this card up, they're going to see that sentiment in the inside. And then whenever you write in the inside, you have this space up here to write to your recipient. And that's going to stand just like so. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love that. Here's my other one that I made. I made this one. The inside. Now, what I messed up on this one, I placed this way too low. It needs to be more towards the center of your card so it stands up more upright than laying like this. I mean, you make it how you want, but I just like this look a little bit better where it is more upright than it being further down. It needs to be more up like that, like this one is. So there we go. Those are my 3 cards that I have created for you using textured notes. Sorry, I have had such technical difficulties tonight. I'm glad I am able to record it this way and upload it from here. And now you're going to have to watch it in 3 parts. I'm sorry. So I'm going to have, like I said, my technical guy, my husband, come out and figure out. Maybe the wind messed that up, and that's got to be the problem. So let me bring in all 3 of these cards so you can see them. So we've got our fun little easel card here. Then our, oh look, we've got a dimensional backing. We've got a really cool monochromatic card and our really pretty, using all those different textures on this. I just think that turned out fabulous as well. Do we want to put maybe a few of these little pecan pies on here? I think this needs some of those on this card. Like that. Okay, there we are. You can never have enough pecan pie on your card to make it pretty. So there is my kit for the week. Again, when you spend $35 or more in my online store, shopdannygarola.com, use my host code if you could, please. This host code, I know it says February, but it will be going through the middle of March. So there you guys go. Enjoy. This set will be featured tomorrow in our online exclusives. So if you try to look tonight and you don't see it, that's why, because it hasn't been released to the public yet. Again, it is called the Textured Notes with those wonderful nesting rectangles that are all decorated on the edges for some beautiful edging work to your rectangles. Okay, you guys, have a fabulous week. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there. I love you all. Good night. Bye-bye.